think so.
Trump is trying to make a national voter list. Good luck protecting yourself out there, people.
I do believe it, because I have listened to this argument for so long, and this is not about Chinese billionaires or billionaires from other countries who all of a sudden have 75 children or 59 children in one case or 10 children becoming American citizens. This was about...
Jesus Christ, dude. Really? That's the argument we're going with? Oh my god, I didn't even do this. My bad.
Slaves. And if you take a look, slaves, we're talking about slaves from the Civil War, and if you take a look
Whoops.
when it was filed, all
Oh,
of this
streamer.
legislation, all of this, everything having to do with birthright citizenship, it was at the end of the Civil War. The reason was it had to do with the babies of slaves and the protection of the babies of slaves. It didn't have to do with the protection of multi-millionaires and billionaires wanting to have their children get
What's up,
American
Batmax?
citizenship. It is the
This just isn't a thing that happens. I mean, it does, like, very occasionally people will fly to the U.S. to make sure their kids are born here and are U.S. citizens, but it does not happen to this extent. Give me
craziest
1
thing I've ever
second.
seen. It's been so badly handled by legal people.
What does
over the years.
estrogen do? Give you
If you
tits.
look at the original
Make you really
birthright
hot.
citizenship papers, they all have
According to the
right
girl
after
in my
Civil
bed right
War.
now, I'm
The
pretty
reason
hot.
was it had to do with the babies of slaves, and hopefully it's going to say because our country is being scammed.
Yeah,
We're
they
getting
won't
all
be
of
able to
these
hear that.
people,
My mic
they're
doesn't
selling
fix
the
things
rights to
on
them.
past
People are
this
making
radius.
a big living, getting hundreds of thousands and even millions of dollars from bringing people
Just
in
a person in my
and
head,
saying,
by the way.
congratulations, your whole family is going to be a citizen
Anyways,
of the United States of America. That's not what it was for. It wasn't for billionaires bringing people in or family in. It was for the children of slaves. And what you really have to do, and I don't think the lawyers talk about it as much, look at when the Civil War ended and look at the date of when this was enacted.
Gary Grumbach, let me go to you because as we heard the president take questions
oh my god, she speaks so much fucking faster than him.
there, he was asked about this these blockbuster arguments that are happening tomorrow at the Supreme Court. And interestingly, the president says he's going to go. Now, we have heard the president suggest before that he was going to go watch oral arguments. He didn't. He has been at the Supreme Court a couple times in his first term, if I remember correctly, for the sort of formal ceremonies for Justice Gorsuch, Justice Kavanaugh, obviously during his term, that first term. It would be a big deal.
Here's what the rip off the annoying orange thing today. Ooh. Are you talking about the burnt peanut?
If the president
Is the burnt peanut doing shit? Okay, we'll get to that later.
shows up to oral arguments, right, as the justices are hearing on both sides about this birthright citizenship issue that has been something that President Trump has been talking about for years. It would basically be rewriting the Constitution via sort of presidential mandate.
This would be a very big deal. And to our records here, this has never actually happened before. A president of the United States has never attended oral arguments, especially on a policy that he himself wants to see get across the line from the Supreme Court. Now, this is, of course, related to birthright citizenship. One of
Yeah, Trump.
the president's big.
Dude, let's say the birthright citizenship thing, fortunately, will never go away.
Yes,
I don't think I could ever see. I don't think I could ever see the Supreme Court pulling back rules on birthright citizenship. It's just it would be too unpopular with the American public, I think. And yeah, I know that's optimistic to say, but I truly do believe everybody is in support of birthright citizenship.
Domestic policy items of this second term, lower courts have all turned it down, have all said this is just blatantly unconstitutional. This is something that is going to be a very hot topic tomorrow. The justices, we will see how they rule in some of the early stages.
I just raw dogged my meds. What the fuck?
Of this case. It did seem like many of the justices were appearing to be against this idea, but we will see certainly what happens. But back to this judicial independence idea, the Supreme Court, is supposed to be an independent body, free of politics, free of decisions related to policy.
Stop acting like it is, please.
And they may be looking at, down from their seats up there at the court, the President of the United States, surrounded by no doubt security, surrounded by no doubt other members of his administration. And certainly that could perhaps make them lean one way or the other. And I think that is certainly going to be a very notable sight inside the Supreme Court tomorrow.
Gary Grumbach, Gary, thank you very much. It's going to be fascinating to watch. We should also know, too, the president may not go, right? I mean, it's possible he ends up not going at all, even though he said he will. We don't know.
He has certainly said that before. During the tariffs case, he said he was not going to be there. So that's absolutely something that we will see what happens.
Well, boy, what a...
Floundering on every fucking level, man.
This just got even more interesting in Washington. Gary, thanks. Let me bring in Ryan Nobles now, of course, our chief Capitol Hill correspondent. And there's a lot to this, Ryan, because the president was talking about all of this as he was signing an executive order related to mail-in voting that is complicated. It is questionable. Apparently, there were, according to our team, some folks who are sort of notable election deniers who were in the room as this was going down. Let's not lose sight of that.
What a rotten
piece of it
man.
out.
True, I love fishing. Very
there's a couple
rotten.
of things.
Like, zero pushback. Jesus Christ, NBC. Just call him a fascist. It's not that fucking hard.
Be really great. So far, so good. Okay, so that's a big deal. Very proud of it. And I don't know how it can be challenged. You'll probably challenge it. You may find a rogue judge. You get a lot of rogue judges. Very bad people, very bad judges.
What if not the
But
worst
that's the only
president
way
ever?
that
He is
can
the worst
be
president ever.
Changed, and hopefully we'll win an appeal if it is, but I don't see how anybody can challenge it. The cheating on mail-in voting is legendary. It's horrible.
Jesus, dude. Oh my fucking God. Everybody supports mail-in voting, or not mail-in voting, but birthright citizenship, and just like this level of unconstitutional, 59% in favor of keeping it. Jeez, that surprisingly low, but most Americans say immigrants living in the U.S. illegally should be given a way to become citizens. 77 to 82%, 36 to 40 in Republicans. Can we just like prevent every single Republican out there from voting in the next 4 elections? Fun fact: cartilage in the ear can't grow back after damage. I'm shocked the guy's approval rating is not at a 0 mark yet, dude. Right? I mean, it's low. It's at a historic low, but it's so fucking ridiculous.
It's very clearly covered, very, very clearly. So I think this will help a lot with elections. We'd like to have voter ID. We'd like to have proof of citizenship, and that'll be another.
National voter list, so we can see who you voted for, and if you don't appreciate it, arrest you. United States birthright citizenship became part of the Constitution in 1868 as an effort to protect recently freed slaves, enacted with the passage of the 14th Amendment. All persons born or naturalized in the U.S. and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the U.S. and state wherein they reside. I think if you're born in the U.S., you should be a U.S. citizen. I mean, that just kind of makes sense. Most other developed countries do this. Automatic citizenship for children born to parents who are immigrated illegally. Woke, dude. It's just another move to steal elections. Election fraud, like I keep saying, will be at its highest point in this upcoming midterm. We will never see, or we have never seen election fraud to this point. We're going to be seeing in 2020 or in November 2026. We're already in 2026. We will never see, and probably never will again see election fraud up to this point today, or in the U.S. history. Sorry, I had to reply to a message. Only about 36 countries around the world, mostly in the Western Hemisphere, offer automatic birthright citizenship. Right of soil, roots in colonialism, particularly South America and Africa, where Western European countries need more people to labor outnumber native populations in many of those places. Yeah. But that doesn't happen. That's just not what happens in the U.S.
That the president kind of said that made it obvious that he knows how difficult this is going to be to implement. The first being,
explain what it is, and then the
right. Well, he basically signing an executive order that would force the United States Postal Service to only send mail-in ballots to people that have been approved as official voters.
Jesus, dude. Oh my God.
Force the federal government to create a voter roll of people that are approved by the federal government in order to vote. And then it would also involve the United States Postal Service on that level.
I think if you live in the U.S. and you're born in the U.S. and you've been living to the U.S. for like a year plus and you plan on living in the U.S. for the like foreseeable future, you should get to vote.
And what the president alluded to over the course of this conversation was that he expects basically that there will be a judge somewhere that he described as a rogue judge that will rule that this.
No country in the world would, if we just let everybody vote who is in the U.S. right now, no country in the world would be able to artificially send enough people to change election results. They just don't, that the math doesn't math.
is unconstitutional and say it can't go into effect. And there's a reason for that, because it is unconstitutional. The Constitution clearly states that elections are run by states. And
Right.
each state
Right.
has
Yeah.
the
How do you
right-
square that with?
Yeah, how do you square that? And so this is definitely going to be challenged in court.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have congressional approval, let alone judicial
I'm gonna be on it a
approval.
lot
And so
today.
this has a
It's
tough
fucking
road
cold in
ahead.
my
And
room. I
this
shouldn't
is
turn
again
on
the
the fan.
president waving at this idea that there's some massive problem with voter fraud across the country, of which there's just not any evidence to support that claim.
The other thing he said, and I just want to mention it because we've talked about it over the course of the last hour.
Why are we
which is
calling it a
his
claim? Just say he's lying. Just say he's lying, dude.
so-called big beautiful ballroom that he wants to build. A judge has come down late today and said he got to pause construction. The Trump administration is appealing already, but the president again talked about this. I mean, he wants this ballroom to be constructed. It's an important priority for him, and as you know, because you watch his events so often, as we're seeing some renderings here, Ryan, you know, even on unrelated topics, the president still manages to sort of reference this ballroom that he wants to construct.
He really wants his ballroom, by the way. He really wants that ballroom. That ballroom will save America. Just you watch. Just you watch. That ballroom gonna pull all Americans together. We're gonna have one big cracker hootenanny in that ballroom. One big cracker hootenanny where all the white people will show up.